Yo, what's going on, guys? And we're talking about Bismack Biyombo, and dude, he's been pretty freaking solid for this team. All right, and I know it's been only a handful of games that they brought him on, especially after Steven Adams. But so far, through what, 4 games now, this man has put up numbers, and for a team as a guy that you just brought in. So through 5 games, all right, he's averaged 9.6 points, 9.6 rebounds, my apology, 9 points, 1.5 assists, while also averaging about a block a game and just under a steal, while shooting 65.4% from the field. And we all know Bismack Biyombo is a guy that is mini Dikembe Mutombo. All right, he's this defensive orientated big that for years we've all known that has got like a 7-foot wingspan on a 6'9" frame. He's like 235. And he's known for using that athleticism strength to protect the rim and be a rim runner, a good offensive rebounder, and basically only scores around the rim either as a lob threat or just putbacks. He does foul a lot, but he's kind of gotten that under control so far with this team. And I know they're only playing, handful. I mean, he's been getting more and more minutes. The last 2 games, he's a guy who's over the last literally 2 games is averaging 14 points a night with 13.5 rebounds and 1 block a game and a steal with 1.5 assists. Bismack Biyombo shooting like, I think 65% from the field. He's 6'9" with a 7'6" wingspan. That is absurd. And he's, I think, helped the Grizz, in my opinion, a lot more than they're right now, 2-8. It's not been a great start for them this year, but with Bilal, not Bilal, I don't know why I keep saying Bilal, but I just made a video on Bilal Coulibaly. So if you guys want to see that, go to my channel and check that out. But Bismack Biyombo is a guy that, I think it's just because they both have the name Biz, but Bismack Biyombo in his 5 games is technically 2-3. So, I mean, he's been a better center since anybody else, as it's been a really rough year for the Grizz. And I really do think having a guy like Bismack Biyombo gives them an interior presence in terms of rebounding. I know they have the rim protector in Jaren Jackson Jr., but the Grizzlies now have a guy that can get offensive rebounds and help this team that's already, a top 15 team on defense, but they're one of the worst offensive teams. And part of that is because they're not getting second chance opportunities like they used to with Steven Adams. So getting Bismack Biyombo is going to allow, Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, Jaren Jackson Jr., Zaire Williams, Luke Kennard, David Roddy, Santi Aldama, John Conchar, just unload threes. And hopefully that can help this team. And I do think they're, obviously having Bismack, he's able to play next to Santi. He's able to play next to Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, because Xavier Tillman is shooting 2.5 threes, I mean, he's not doing it at a great clip, but you can hypothetically say they could play next to each other. You can play next to Kenneth Lofton, but so he's a guy who can play, who's very versatile and can play around with a lot of other guys. But I do understand if there is a concern like, hey, look, this isn't going to be something that, I don't know, we can sit here and be, okay, look, Bismack is going to save the day. We don't know. We hope, but it's a good start, especially with what we're now 15 games away from John Morant returning. So hopefully in 15 games, they can go maybe 12-13 and they're, 14-21 when Ja comes back and Bismack's fully integrated and the team looks good. Hopefully that can be possibly done. But besides that, I do think it's a little difficult because this team, don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy what the Grizzlies have done. And this is a team that's finished second in the Western Conference for 2 years running. And it just doesn't look like that same team. So that is something that I think a lot of people are going to be like, well, it's really upsetting to see that because we know they're a better team than that. So I definitely can understand if they're frustrated over, not looking the part that they've looked over the last few seasons. And they did give up, players to get Marcus Smart to replace Dylan Brooks, who we knew they were kind of scapegoating. But at the same time, we also knew that that might not be enough. So, and it's seemingly, especially with Steven Adams' injury, it's not enough. And hopefully they can turn it around. I want to hear you guys' thoughts, though. What do you guys expect and why?